You know what?
Nice, snatched.
Father God, help us. Please. Whew. Good evening, and thank you so very much for coming by Safe Space this evening. We are at the end of another year. Our Father has been gracious. He's brought us here, and we're here the third or fourth time to celebrate that we are still here and still together. I think this will be the annual show for Safe Space as long as it lives, and only God knows that. And I'm so grateful that these lovely ladies are willing to give up their time and their love and their inspiration to whomever may need it. For those of you that have never been to Safe Space is a place of encouragement, of teaching, of telling stories, of sharing revelation, of focusing on authors, basically putting it all out there for you to just know that our Father will meet you at your place of need. He is always the answer for whatever may be going on in your life, for what you want going in your life, for anything. You can never be too dirty, never be too old, never be too anything to give God a try. Well, tonight, as I said before, I'm here with some very important people in my life. And on my way here, I was talking to my goddaughter, and she made me aware of a new trend that is happening on TikTok. And when she sent me the TikTok, I realized I had seen it. Well, the movie Waiting to Exhale came out, debuted in December of 1995 when she was 4 and I was 28. So, okay, 30 years later, do the math, all right? So I thought about, I said, you know what? Waiting to Exhale is a great segue. So I won't sound old and I'll be current because they're doing these parties and they're really doing the t-shirts and the bags, and the women are writing letters of what they need to exhale about and all of these things. So these letters tonight are going to be verbal. And I thank God for her calling me when she did, because I wanted to take the show and our discussion in a different direction this year. Last year, we spoke about the importance of our connection, the importance of the existence of us in one another's lives, and the roles that we have and are playing. But the Holy Spirit gave me another perspective this year, which coincides with exhaling. He told me to talk about the longevity and the life cycle of a friendship or a sisterhood, the seriousness of using the titles that we're using, and if we truly understand what it is we're saying when we call someone our sissy. There will be stronger connections between different women, but do you see everyone in the group? And do you treat them at the place that they need to be met? Do you think about those things? Are you respectful? Do you have the ability to pray when they're in different seasons in their lives? Maybe you're on a peak and they're in a valley. Do you have the sensitivity and the care and the love to pray for a strategy, to know whether you need to go in deep and hard or whether you need to give her some space so she can pray and get direction for what it is that she needs to do from God? Do you be silent and just talk to God for her? Do you just stand in the gap? What is it that you have the willingness to do to have a long-term relationship? There are three types of relationships for the most part. There are reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. And I know we've all heard those things. Reasons are friends that teach you lessons most of the time because they are there for a reason. It is what you pour into their cup. Now, even in lifelong relationships, there are times that you will need to pour more than you receive based on the season that your friend may be in. The season relationships are for specific chapters. God sends people in your life during college, maybe gym buddies due to shared circumstances. And then there are the lifetime friendships, enduring connections that withstand time, change, offense, and they are consistently in support of you, your life joys, your peaks, and your valleys. Navigating friendship changes, appreciating one another, earnestly valuing the friendship for what it is and the whole role that it plays in your life, and recognizing the quality and of time and the duration as time passes and as we change, because we do change. Acceptance understanding that the ending often changes the nature of how you began. So we, as I said, we change. It's not a miraculous thing, but you have to allow sometimes to agree to disagree, to accept the changes that happens in a person's life because of their life experiences that may be very different from yours, and gratitude. Be thankful for the lessons and the joy that each friendship brings into your life, whether it lasts forever or just a season. So, ladies, y'all ready to exhale?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, looking at that, I know that that's not something, and then maybe it is. Have we talked about this type of conversation? Have we had this type of conversation before?
No. Not altogether.
No, at different times we have, but
Okay.
not as a collective.
Okay, collective. So since you said collective so well, we're gonna start with you.
Well, you know, I think that, at least I know, that you have to put the mileage in. I think mileage is everything. Learning who and what the individual needs at the time that they need it is super important. Because you need different things at different times. You even find that you play different roles at different times. That sometimes you're aware of them and sometimes you're not. You know, hypothetically with Lisa and I in particular, sometimes I feel like I'm her mom, and sometimes I feel like you're my mom.
I am.
Well, in any event. Thank you very, very much. But like, I'm very proud, you know, in her escalating,
Right,
you know.
the woman she's grown to be.
Exactly. There's a time when I will call you just out of the blue.
Right,
You know, I'm not one to talk every day,
right,
you know, at all. Excuse me. But when I do talk or when I do call, I have something to say. And it's my heart that's speaking to you as my sister. You know, something will just come over me.
right.
You know, and I think that being in touch with each other's need is the most important thing.
It
Yeah.
is.
I also have realized that the devil's energy interferes when you are really loving someone.
Oh, yes.
Oh, for sure.
When you really, really love someone.
He doesn't like powerful, peaceful unions.
Not at all.
So he will attack if you
Not at
allow him to. And it's amazing that one of the things in reading about this, and when it came to my mind, you have touched on most of them. There are aspects of responsibility. I remember when I first became an armor bearer, and I had known First Lady, but I didn't know her.
Right.
And I had impressions of her, who she was, that were given to me by other people. And mostly because of that, I had developed opinions. However, my mom taught me to stay in my place. And because of that, the opinions that I had developed did not cause me to treat her indifferent. And then when I began to spend intimate time with her in service, it wasn't lining up with the impressions that I had been given. So I'm so thankful that I had the wherewithal through my raising and me being the person that I was, understanding that I had a place and that I needed to stay in it no matter how I felt, that I didn't inject what I thought on her because she wasn't at all truthfully that I perceived or was told, or the impression that was created for me. And when things began to not to line up, I'm like, wait a minute. And I think you need to give everyone that benefit of the doubt. You develop your own relationship with them. One thing that I've been saying quite often, Martin Luther King, you deal with every person based on the content of their character. It is one of the biggest mistakes in the world for me to treat you just like I treat you, even in intimate relationships and in those out in the world. We all have a responsibility in relationships, and it says support and empathy, being there through tough times, celebrating wins, providing a shoulder to cry on is a mutual duty. It is not, it may be done more by one or the other, depending on the relationships within these relationships that have been developed, but you should have the ability to do it for all. Accountability and growth. Friends should offer constructive criticism with kindness and hold one another accountable, helping the other to improve, not just pointing out flaws. And I think I'm gonna add my own little piece on there, protection. Don't come up there, don't do that.
Mhm.
Don't.
Yeah, you are to
I'm just
protect.
saying.
Yeah,
You're
about to say
no,
something.
no, I said, you're right. Don't hurt somebody, mess with my peeps.
Respect and boundaries, setting respecting personal limits, topics, times, vital for mutual comfort and preventing feelings being taken advantage of. That's important. You know, I'm learning that because she hanged up, when she hears Tony's voice, she just hang up the phone. I usually, if I hear her husband, I'm like, okay, bye. But sometimes I hang up too now. I've learned, I just hang up. He
Right.
walked in the house, I just hung up the phone.
Mhm.
You know, I don't worry about saying goodbye anymore.
See, and I do that when she says she'll call.
You do?
Yes, because I know it's gonna be a long drawn out
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
That's just the
Yeah.
reality.
Well, a
Yeah.
lot of times I do that with her too. Because she's constantly busy, if somebody's calling, like, okay, bye. Or I just hang up.
I used to take offense to it.
Don't.
I mean, I used to.
Understand.
I really did. I'd be like, no,
Why she
Why-
gotta
why
answer
she-
her?
why she
More
got
important
me?
than me.
So,
Yeah.
Or
That's good.
or if
That's
it would be
good.
on like conference, I'll be like maybe a three-way or something, and then she just hang up.
She likes to hang up on people. She likes to hang up on people.
I mean, because a man came in the room.
You don't even know she gone. That's what's funny. You like,
You
like,
be
hello,
talking to her.
hello.
You be like, hello, boo, Lisa, boo. She
Gone.
gone.
Yeah.
She ain't say goodbye.
And the act is half done by the
So,
time you realize she gone.
So we all have our, we all have our whatever.
Quirks.
You have our quirks.
But
Yeah.
see, that's a good point because you see past that and you love past that and there's no offense anymore. That was a great point that you made. That was so brilliant. Okay.
But if you had still been offended, I know if I do that now, you're not gonna take the bait.
I'm not gonna take it
Because you
back.
understand
The
why you get offended,
Yeah,
not just you get offended.
right.
It has nothing to do with, oh, this is against me. That's just a trap, as we have learned. And we're just not gonna take the bait anymore concerning, any offenses that come in the relationship. Because the enemy will bring the offense in order to produce some sort of division.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so,
come on.
What?
I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Tony.
Oh, God. Do not.
Lord help her.
Let me tell you what his favorite quote is. Baby, if you watching, I hear you. Do not sow discord amongst the brothers.
All right.
He said that all the time. It's just the way he said, I can hear in the back of my head, it's real funny. But that's what the enemy wants to do.
Right.
Because what he knows is what we are discovering.
Mhm.
He knows that if I put all of these women together, all five of them together, the fivefold ministry, it's gonna be a problem.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you put all five of them together, they can turn the world around.
Right.
They can save a soul. They can introduce someone to Jesus. They can keep a woman out of a state of depression. They have too many gifts. They have too many talents. There's too much ability. So what I'm going to do is come in. I'm gonna set a trap. And I know who I was talking to. That was it. I don't know. It was one of them. Whatever. I was just be on the phone talking like.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I said, you know what I realized about the bait of offense that he sets? I didn't consider it to be something I did not like. Joanne and I were talking, okay. So I was telling Joanne, I said, Joanne, like a little rat
Mhm.
set the trap. You put the bait in, it's usually cheese.
Mhm.
Well, the rat likes cheese.
Mhm.
He sets the trap for us with something. Why do we like it?
Well, this is something we've talked about years ago. And the way I phrased it, and it wasn't so much about bait of offense, it was about temptation, period, which is a bait.
Right, yeah.
I remember telling you, I said, Satan, long time ago, because it was about a struggle in my life. Satan does not bring you anything you don't like, because it's not
everything that you like.
it's not a temptation if you don't
Yeah.
like it. So
Yeah.
it's not a struggle.
Yeah.
You bring me some shoes. I'm like, whatever, there you go.
Yeah,
But you bring me something I really like, I'm like, So he knows he has monitoring. I've learned this as I've grown, but I knew that then. He is monitoring spirits and all of that. We give that no credence because we
Yeah.
block that. But they're on their job. They know
Yeah.
what we like. They know
Yes.
our proclivities. So he brings the bait, the temptation, i.e., all of that. It's not something that is easy for you to turn
Right.
down. And that is a different perspective thinking about it that way, but it's the truth. And it feeds right into your insecurities, your
Yes.
hurts, the things that's been done to you before. So you
Mhm.
think you see it, you know, I got you.
Yeah.
Because I've been through this before. You're not gonna hurt me like that again. So, and then there you go.
what I was telling Joanne from a different perspective, I was saying now I look at it as poison.
It's what it is.
Mhm. Exactly.
So, you know, we have the opportunity to take the bait every single day. Like I could have taken the bait this morning with a young lady because I went to the doctor and she was just not pleasant.
Mm.
And I was like, hey, no, I see the bait.
Did you have a good time with that?
I did.
You normally do, even before the beta Satan.
Yeah, I did. So I was like, I don't know if she's having a bad day. People do whatever they do and feel however they feel. Nevertheless, they impose it on a person. That's your trap. You get into it because you've been hurt in the past. Here comes your paradigms and everything rising up. Okay, now, like you said in a conversation before, are you imposing not just what's happening in the moment? It's a lot of stuff from the past. And boom, you get it. And you are not even involved in the last person.
It's not about you.
Nevertheless, I look at it not as a bait. I look at it as poison. I'm not going to partake in poison.
Right. Right.
So
right.
when that trap is set and someone offends me, and I even asked the Holy Spirit, I said, you just make me laugh. I just need to just like, are you serious? This is the day that God made for you to rejoice and be glad in it. And you got to have an attitude? Okay, dude, because you could be in the hospital hooked up to an IV, but yet you are on a job that gives you finances that God has blessed you with. Be happy about it. Yeah. So I don't take the bait. I'm glad you're not offended anymore, because that would have been poison.
Absolutely.
And most times it does nothing but hurt the person that's holding it.
Exactly.
The other person is gone on
About
their
their
business.
Yeah.
The other things that it pointed out here is respect and boundaries. Setting, did I read that one? Yes. Communication, open discussion, expectations.
See, that's something I think that most people in general fail to do.
Good communication.
Is honest.
Because of people being
Regardless.
offended and defensive.
Mhm.
You don't want to open up and tell people truly how you feel.
I remember years ago, Lisa began to say, I have to have people around me that I can just get naked with. And I think that it should be too
Not literally.
No. So I
Well,
help her. But to get naked means to just be completely open, unashamed, and with your sisters, you should be able to do that.
I read that in here.
You know?
It said that, and I don't even know where I read it when I was reading about this topic, but that the lifelong relationships are the ones that you can be vulnerable, explain your hurts, speak about prayer, strategy, accountability, to help you navigate through. And I think that's what we displayed and talked about for the most part last year in our relationships. But I wanted a little different tea this year. And it talked about forgiving and handling conflict.
Well, let me go back to when you talk about honest communication. I think it is very difficult for some people to have honest communication when you don't trust.
Right. And you have to be mature.
Yeah, you have. That's another point. But my main point is I can be honest with you if I trust you. That yet again, another paradigm, another something, from my upbringing or raising or whatever. And that's within. So if you don't let someone in to have honest communication, that's your fault.
Well, see,
that's something you got to deal with, not something that person should have to deal with you all the time. But as my sissy, I can be honest to say that part.
But see,
so
that's
you can help me get to a place
through it.
Right.
You admitted it. You are working, you acknowledge it, you recognize it. You're not trying to just make me deal with it.
Right.
Because you're not trying trying to work on yourself.
Like, so with Joe and I can be honest with certain things with Joe, but that has come over time.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people get into relationships and they think, oh, everything's supposed to be perfect the first day you have a relationship. The first time, you know, it's like, oh, you're my friend now, and they go deep.
Too far.
Give it some time. If this is
Whole
a
lot of
lifetime,
time.
it's a lifetime.
Mhm.
You know, we don't have to rush. And I can be very honest with you all about certain things in my life because I trust you. Because if I didn't trust you, I would tell you, Jack.
And sometimes you don't.
And you can't.
Sometimes you don't. I am learning that even in my lifelong relationships, there are things that I need to keep to myself. I don't think I did that well in the past because I didn't draw boundaries, because if I was in relationship with you, I meant you well. I knew how to celebrate with those who celebrate. I don't have issues with uh, coveting people's things, their lives. Those have never been my issues. And I think because that is something that was a paradigm of mine, I was a victim of, and I knew how it hurt and how destructive it was. So that wasn't something I ever really struggled with in my peaks or my valleys. So because of that, I made the mistake of not realizing, even with those that are close to me, there were things that they did not need to know. There were things that only God and I think that tied into even the boundaries that I did not draw. I would ask people, and Lisa can attest to this, even when I began to do the events and things for the church, which was all God. One of the first things I asked her in her office, because I was totally unclear, I was afraid, I thought that was something that I was not equipped to do. Little did I know. But I said to her, what are your expectations? Because I was trying to get some clarity about what I was doing or what I was expected to do. But I never told her what was happening. I never told her, okay, these are my expectations. And at that point, because I didn't know what I was doing, my minimum expectation should have been, I need clear expectations of what you want. I need clear, to the best that we can right now, starting this journey of what I am supposed to be doing. But because my heart was in it, I just went in and did whatever I saw needed to be done. Now that would not have changed, but then sometimes when you're not clear in time, it'll put you in a place you don't need to be. And see, that's when bait comes.
Yeah.
And if your heart is not truly in the situation, it'll cause a breakdown, it'll cause distension, it'll cause you to break apart, and it'll tear you away from your purpose that God put you into if you fall for that bait.
So would you say though, now Shelby, that was how it was initially, but now that you've been doing this, if First Lady were to give you an expectation about something that you do for the church, if you know that's an expectation that you can't meet or you feel should go another way, you're now more open to share that with her. And I think that with what I've learned in this friendship here and so many things that you've shared, I've learned where communication was always a problem for me. You know, I've learned that I'm in a safe place with you ladies and that I can communicate with you as best I know how. And sometimes I'll try to say, and then First Lady may say, I understand what you're saying. I'm like, good. Help me to understand what I'm trying to say. You know, but it's like when you know your friends, then you know
You're in a
like,
safe space.
right, exactly. You're in a safe space, you know, to talk, to where at one point I stopped expecting things from people, but because that was my way of protecting myself and not being hurt. But now, like, I feel like I can have expectations with y'all again. Like if like tonight, you know, like I wanted to host it here, and before I would not have had that expectation. But you ladies make it easy.
And even if we have what I've learned in our friendship, even though I may have an expectation, if you don't meet it, I'm still cool.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Grace.
You said took the words right out of my mouth.
Grace.
I think in our relationships, whether it be sisterhood, whether it be marital relationships, whatever it is, God will grace you for their shortcomings.
Yes,
You will know when somebody needs to leave the party because your grace will run out.
That's right.
And you can't tolerate their shortcomings anymore. That's when you know that person was just for a reason or a season. But when it's for a lifetime, and some people come into a relationship thinking it's going to be a lifetime. I don't go into
You
a
don't ever
relationship
know.
thinking it's gonna be a lifetime.
Yeah.
I let that thing just roll out and then allow God to show me year after year after year. Cause he
No,
made
moment after moment after moment.
okay, moment.
Cause they can change.
And however,
But you have grace for that with her if you were to there for a lifetime.
yeah, and however he whatever he does, whether that person is going in a different direction, I don't get angry. I'm like, okay,
Bye.
no,
It's the wins.
no, I
Brady.
wish you well. See you.
And all of your endeavors.
And see, and I think people need to get to that point. This is the reason why. Just like we have learned. Because you don't want to have all in your heart against that person. Because now you're in worse shape than they are. So why do you walk around with all in your heart and unforgiveness? Now you got to deal with your daddy. Now your favor gets cut off.
And you're sinning.
Yeah, and then you wonder what in the world's going on. I don't have time for that. Nobody is worth me losing my favor. So I try to make sure whatever relationships I'm in, that I do not take the bait, don't get offended with the expectations, whether I know them or not. The first thing I say, did you give them grace?
But the ability to do so is intentional and it's not. And I mean that, and I read that in here. It talked about the lifelong relationships that you're intentional about wanting to give grace because there is a love there and an intent to stay in that relationship.
Right.
It is important enough to you
Yeah.
to work with, work through, work past,
Yeah.
look over. But it is also important that as you grow and as you mature and as you change, that you do it accommodating one another. Because we all have changed.
It's
Absolutely.
a give and take.
It says it here. It says it says, why is this important? To stop one person from feeling used, you have to have balance. And of
Right.
course, there are times in your life that you don't have the just say when I was caregiving for mom. I look back sometimes and wonder, and he told me why. His grace was sufficient. How I was able to continue just doing work,
Going.
the stuff that I did at the church. And at one point, we had 3 people in the unaware ministry. It was myself, Charwana, and Darlene. And we handled every Sunday. And that was during the period of time that we had 2 services. So I would get up, get her breakfast prepped and everything. It would be dark and I would be at church by 7:30 and I would get time. I got home. It was 2-ish. So it was lunchtime. And I look back, but that was God's grace because one, I wanted to. It was my heart. I was intentional about what I was doing. So anything that we're intentional about that we love, that's why it's so important that our prayers every day consist of asking for that clean heart and that righteous spirit. Because anything you go into with that heart being there, he is first of all going to make a way, and you're going to be intentional about putting that one foot out there, and he'll take you on where you want to go. You can't explain it always in a natural way. He puts this super on your natural. So when you have these relationships, no, they're not always easy. The seasons in our life are not always easy. But when we put our time into building deeper trust, as you just spoke about, knowing that you can rely on your friend and they on you deepens the bond. You don't feel like somebody's going to drop you, or if they see you in your worst time, that it's going to be spread all over social media or on the phone.
Right.
You know,
It's like what you were saying, Shelby, with friendships, the reason, the season, or the lifetime. And people that are important to you, relationships that are important to you takes work.
yes.
So whether that's your sisterhoods, whether that's with your marriage, whether it's your job, like whatever it is, it takes work and you get out of it what you put into it. So if you're saying that this person is really important to you, but yet you very rarely try to spend time with them, it's not that they're not important to you, it's that you just have to.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna just say this. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with you.
Okay.
I want to call you more. I just can't stay on the phone with you that long.
Oh, my goodness.
Cause I
Okay,
keep
she
getting the.
I mean, no, I'm being serious.
Oh, no, and I know that.
There are times I wanna call her and go, hey, boo, how you doing?
Mhm.
Everything good? But I can't, she'll start talking.
Can I help you?
And then she'll be like, okay, I know you gotta go. And it'll be 20 minutes later. And I'll be like, oh my God, I got to go.
But I think I'm getting better.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing something. I'm gonna call you like, boo, I got 10 minutes.
Oh, that'll work.
That's being
Put the
honest.
time on the phone.
Yeah,
Let's-
that's being
Put y'all time on
Yeah,
y'all
I
phone.
got
I'm
it.
just putting time.
And I'll be like, okay, boo, I gotta go.
Mhm.
You know,
And just hang up like she do when her husband walking the door. She didn't get offended when you hang up on her.
That's true.
She hang up on too many
but I can't
people.
do that.
Yes, you can.
I can't.
I used to now, I can do
I
it
can't
real
do
good, and I be
that.
like,
I can't
whoa.
do
Let me tell you why you can do it, cause I'm just gonna find it.
She taught you
Yeah, she taught
how,
me that.
she's taught us
I
how to do
can't
it.
do it.
Yes, you
That's
can.
just not in me. But anyway,
Okay,
But I'm
but
gonna tell you this, sorry, but like first lady, like if I'm at work and we're talking, and then if somebody come in the room and she'll hear them, or like if I say I gotta, I'm getting ready to go to a meeting, she say, okay, bye. And I'll be like,
well, don't nobody come in my bedroom. But but I am gonna start because I feel
Yeah.
like I don't talk to you a lot.
Because I understand you're
You know,
working.
I'm yeah. So I feel because once I log in, it's
You
like
don't
that's my that's.
She-
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Oh, they have. Yeah, how much you gonna give me my check?
I'm saying, everybody look straight ahead.
I do.
I'm gonna say Michelle, everybody looks straight
First
ahead.
of all, for my superiors at the Georgia Lottery, my work speaks for itself. Because if I was not working, it would have told by now. Please disregard this increment, this
This lady.
foolishness over here.
Oh gosh. But I think for me, each one of you all has a
You said you were gonna start with her.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Were you finished?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, like Auntie Britt, your wisdom that you give me. You're like my mama.
Mm,
You're like my mama, auntie, sister.
mm,
You know, that's
Don't cry, you need the glasses.
that's it.
You need the
that's
glasses.
what I need. You know what I'm
You
saying?
just told me a great piece of information. She told you about your marriage years ago. And I tucked it away.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Tucked it away from my little repertoire. It was a great piece of information.
Yes.
What was
What
the
was the
information?
I don't know if we want to say it.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
We're not being honest.
No,
Go
but
ahead.
you were talking, so basically what you were saying was, we were having an in-depth conversation. I love when I get my hair done, because that's when I feel like
Therapy session.
we have the most in-depth conversations. And one day we were talking about intimacy, and you were saying that intimacy is not just about the physical aspects. It's cuddling, it's kissing, it's holding hands, it's, and you were saying, what would happen if your spouse was unable,
Impotent.
yeah.
Mhm.
Would you stop loving him? Would you do away with the marriage?
Mhm.
And that was really something, because my love language is touching. Yeah, that's
Go on.
okay. That's very important to me, And so and then you said to me, what would happen if that couldn't happen anymore?
Mhm.
Then what would happen? And it made me think that maybe that aspect is not as important as I think it should be,
Mhm.
because of what we talked about.
Mhm.
And that really did help my marriage.
Mm.
It really did.
She said you told her that a long time ago.
You told me that a long time ago.
Mm.
And that gave me a total perspective
Mm.
on that part of my marriage,
Mm.
because sex was so important to me.
She said it.
You said that. Yes.
But there's more to that than,
Yes.
so that was very important.
You're trouble the money
Yeah.
over here.
Okay, you.
Trouble in the land.
Oh, for me.
There's something about you light skinned people. Well, go ahead.
But for you, because of the fact that you and I are only children.
Mm.
Okay.
Go ahead. Don't cry.
It's okay. God gave you everything you needed. Yes, he did. Everything.
And then the way we can talk about our childhood and how we grew up and our paradigms, I feel like there are times when you get me
Mhm.
because of what I've dealt with.
Yes, I
Mhm.
understand.
And with you,
Ladybug, ladybug.
people, just the way we met, you know? I'm not gonna lie, I was really jealous.
Oh,
Really?
No, this is exhaling.
I
We're gonna be
I
truthful.
was really jealous when you came back from California.
Really?
Mhm. Because at that time, Nancy and I had really
She
gravitated to
took
each
your
other.
friend.
Well, I thought she was. I ain't gonna lie. And when you came back, I was like, oh. And you started to come into the fold again. Our kids were dancing and everything, and I was like, she coming in on my territory. But I realized the territory was big enough for all of us.
Yeah.
mhm,
You know,
it is.
Now, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that is profound. When you realize that the territory is big enough and no one has to be
it's
jealous.
big enough.
Or
for
no one
everyone.
has to, like you said, covet.
Yeah,
It's
sorry.
larger than any territory that we can even describe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's profound. I think a lot of relationships get in trouble because they're still controlling.
They're
want,
consumed.
yeah, they
with
want you
it
just
all.
for themselves.
They want it all.
Yes, and I did. At that point, I thought Nancy just belonged to me. But, but I can say that what I do love about our friendships is the fact of our love for God.
Yes.
The tie that binds.
You got to have Jesus, huh?
The tie that binds.
Without him, like
Mhm.
just like a covenant relationship, without him
Oh my
You got to
with
have.
us, we would not survive. That's why I'm okay with a
Mhm.
reason and a season, okay?
Yes.
Because when we don't have anything in common, you don't like my first love. If you don't love him the way I love him, it's gonna be hard for me to have a relationship with you because that's what I'm gonna be talking about. Like our husbands talk about God.
Yes.
That's what they have in common. We talk about things that we have in common. And
But God is always at the base.
Yes, always.
He is the tie that binds.
right.
No matter our season. That's such a good point.
Yeah.
No matter our season, no matter what we're going through, that is the tie that binds. I'm sitting here thinking about that as you are speaking, because you and Nicole and Joanne are lifers. So for a very long time, that wasn't, even though I had been married, that wasn't something that I had to talk about. But and Joanne wasn't so much a part of the group then, but still, the tie that bind was him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No matter where we were. And Brent was a lifer until, 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
And for you all that don't know what I'm talking about, that is a phrase that I coined from, I know the lifer that some people know about is people that's been sentenced to life in prison.
Mhm.
That's not the lifer I'm talking about. These women all have been married over 30 years.
Yeah.
For me to be 25 next year.
Okay, that's a lifer.
Yeah.
That's
30
life.
years.
So that wasn't something that I had in common to talk to them about. I had witnessed those relationships always in my life, in the generations before me, but my first marriage was only 11 years. And then I was single a very, very long time.
Mhm.
So that wasn't, but because of my respect for matrimony and the tie that bind, which was God, I respected their marriages very much so. I'm not the friend that was single that you could not have if you were married, because I'm not gonna be up in your business. I'm not gonna be in your house. I'm not gonna be calling at inopportune times. That's just not who I am. Thank you, God. I give you all the glory. But I've never been a lonely person. So I do well by myself, probably too well sometimes. So I think that was, of course, it was him that kept me through all seasons of my life. So I get it.
Yeah, I think lifer, if you can do it with God, then you're able to do it with people that you live here on earth. I look at people's relationship with God, I already know how the relationship will end up with me. If you can't be faithful to him, ain't nowhere in the world you're gonna be faithful to me. So I don't say anything, I just watch and say, I do.
Yes, mom.
She does.
I
And
do.
she knows.
And so I look at how they treat him, they will say, I love him, but they don't show me they love him. See, I'm just meant me, as you always say. If you can be that way with him, what am I?
Right.
So
I'm
I
just
look at that, I was like, no, she's not faithful. Check. Oh, she ain't committed. Check. Oh, no, she's not a woman of her word. Check. She's soon to be gone.
Shit, but great.
Mhm.
And that's just the way I see it. That's the reason why I think we have a strong bond, because y'all love God first.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
And as long as he is there, all things are well.
Mhm.
And so I don't really worry about it. It's when someone approaches and I'm like, they don't have a relationship with the one who first loved them. They're certainly not going to have a relationship with me, and they're not going to show me unconditional love. I'm not going to get agape love. They don't even know the definition of it. They ain't read Genesis through. They ain't even read Genesis, so I can't.
Through Genesis.
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 I look at that. That's the reason why we're all lifers, because we know how to do life.
Yeah,
And doing life is exhaling.
Mhm.
Because you give each other the freedom to exhale. You give them, that's their right to do that. And it's a no judgment zone. And I just think, I look at people's life, or their relationship with God and go, oh, okay. And I know how that's going. Mine is just way down here. If they, neglect him, I'm just next to them.
Whenever the opportunity presents itself, go ahead, Joe.
We're all, like First Lady said, we're all going after God with everything we have in our hearts. And we are holding each other accountable to do the same thing, because we all want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So when we have these book studies, it's just common knowledge now, like, okay, we started a book study.
Yeah.
We're all in it. We're all doing this because we all want to grow.
Right.
And we want to see each other grow.
Y'all ain't leaving me.
And collectively.
Yeah.
That word, when
Yeah.
you have to be a real collective in order for you to stay together, to have the same.
Because it's a sacrifice.
It is
It's a
tremendous.
Mhm.
It was a sacrifice to me today. I made a tremendous sacrifice.
I did too.
I
But
really
it was,
did.
but you know what? You don't think about it.
No, you don't think about it.
You just do what you have to do to make
In
it
my
happen.
human self, I think about it after the fact.
Do you?
Yeah,
I don't
like
so
I'm
much.
I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
I breathe.
Right, I understand.
Like I was running like a chicken with my head cut off. Thank you. I was running like a chicken with my head cut off because my sissy requested that I do something.
Yeah, go on and tell them what you did.
Well, we have this play coming up,
Mhm.
okay? And fortunately, I've been assigned, moved up a little high.
You big money.
I moved up
You
a
big
little high.
time.
But
Been
what
promoted.
happens with that is greater
Responsibility.
responsibility.
Yes.
Leadership
Sacrifice.
is servitude.
Yes, it is.
You hold
Yes,
up
it
the
is.
bloodstained
Yes, it
banner,
is.
not being served.
And the location where I was to get the thing that was needed, they only start opening from Wednesday.
Mhm.
So I had somewhat of 2 days that I was pulling my hair out because I was saying,
You were waiting.
I
You
get
were waiting.
till Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the traffic
So
in
on
Atlanta is no
Wednesday,
joke.
I'm planning to leave town. I'm taking care of clients. I'm trying to get the house in order. And I have to go, and the traffic is mad.
Yep.
Mhm.
I
It's
knew
mad.
traffic was a part of it.
But I said my prayer, I said, all right, Lord,
He'll
you
open
said
it
that
up
I'm
for you.
supposed to do this, clear the road.
You'll do it.
And he cleared the road.
And see, that just shows, because we have that one base, that foundation, which is our relationship with God, we can talk to him. He will make all things turn out for our good.
Yes.
Just like, okay, so your house is decorated for Christmas. Shelby's
And
house
you
is
came
decorated.
and did my tree because I was over
Yeah.
there with your little sweet shit.
But although it was like a sacrifice for you, all of us sacrifice for one another.
Right,
Period.
right, that's what we do.
And we call it a sacrifice, but when it's in your heart, it's really not.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Joe sacrificed. She'll give you the last shirt
she
on her
will.
back.
Mhm.
And to her, I'm like, I know you can't keep it away. You can
That's been my life story, but she'll adjust it
But I
someday.
still want our sister to learn how to say no.
Yeah, she needs
Yes.
to.
Yeah.
That's been my life story,
I
Joe.
want you to
I've been
learn
very
how to say
similar
no.
to you.
You can't say
You know,
yes.
it may not be remembered because I know how to say no now
Yeah.
and draw some boundaries. But I was very much like that. But it's a lot of pressure. And that's why I did what I did Saturday. After you didn't answer the text, you had lost that person. And you had a lot of things going on this season. And the Lord kept dropping morsels.
And I called you, remember?
She called me worried about you serving. I said, I've already asked her because I'm worried about it too. Then you dropped the morsel that she was entertaining, and see, I didn't know that. And so I
So what
said,
you say?
okay, God. She dropped the morsel that she was entertaining.
Hey, tell you what.
She was
I had
entertaining her family.
My family.
She
was
joined
here
over on Saturday evening.
the
And see,
same
I
day
didn't
my
know
cousin
that.
passed.
And I didn't know that. So she dropped them. I said, God, you giving me all this information.
Yeah.
This means she doesn't need to do that. And so I text her and I said, are you sure? As he said, she don't
You know she's not gonna
She
say
never
no.
say no.
Right.
And I just took it upon myself to call the other young lady. And then I shut her down.
You protected her.
Yes, because she wasn't.
Because she has something to protect
You
herself.
see, I've been there.
Yeah, I know.
And I still would teeter there. I have to tell myself, no,
Right.
stop.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you do not learn to do that, it's not gonna be well for
No,
you.
it's not gonna be
And
happy. It's not gonna be happy.
not acting in selfishness, that's not what I'm saying, because I hate selfishness.
Yeah.
But it will put you in a compromising place, even with the people that you love, because they will offend you and hurt you without them realizing they have. And you have laid down in the street and let the car ran over your bag, duck, come back. You have given till your bank account was empty, whether it is literal, whether it's in your heart, whether it's whatever. I'm still struggling with it because that's my proclivity. That's how I was born. I get it.
But that goes back to the reason to our foundation, where she's
The
weak,
tie
you're
that
strong.
That's
And
right.
this is
So-
fine.
Yeah.
And so when things like that happen, I always ask God, if Joe's weak, okay, which one of us strong enough to cover her?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which one's strong enough to cover Nicole? We may not have the same gift. I may say, oh, she should have done this or she should have done it. No, he said, you don't know what she should have done. You are not God. He would choose the one to plant the seed, the one to water, and then he'll bring the increase.
Yes, and
So where you were weak, she was strong. She did what she needed to do. It had you covered. All was well. And then
And she delivered the message.
and didn't even know it. And see, God kept sending me pieces. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? She got what? She's
So
doing
we
what?
just talking,
And
and
she's
she's like, you know, she's doing something at 12 o'clock, cause she told me her whole schedule.
And then the text came about the death.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the closeness of them, when she said the visiting in the summers, I'm reading this on the way to an event. I'm like, well, wait a minute. She's emotionally drained now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now she got people coming to her house. And then she gonna get up at 7 in the morning. No.
And she did all the cooking.
No.
Oh, what did
But
you
I was gonna
cook?
do it.
And she did all the cooking.
No,
What
you
you cook,
weren't gonna
Joe?
do
We
it.
had Mexican,
Ooh.
so I cooked, I bought some of the sides and stuff I made. We had a taco bar, nacho bar, it was good.
See how
That's a
happy
lot.
she is. Look at how happy
That's
she
a
is.
lot.
And I'm
But
glad
you
happy.
see it make
Yeah,
her
she's
happy.
And I'm
Yeah,
glad
I
I'm
understand.
happy.
It will.
But you were on our hearts, cause
Yeah.
I'm like,
Cause when Shelby sent me the text not to worry about it, I did exhale.
I know it. I could feel
I
it.
did exhale, but I would have still did it.
I totally, I get it. When you don't know how to say no, that means you never say no.
But
I get it.
went through the list though. Like I knew you couldn't do it that day. I knew that Shawana had.
That wasn't your
day.
responsibility.
I called Carmen, I didn't get her, so I went down the list.
I
So I
called her
said, "It's you, boo."
No, no, it wasn't
What
you,
I'm
boo.
what I'm thinking is, Joe, what Shelby's trying to say is, which one you prefer, to exhale or have CPR?
I
And
prefer,
carry all
I
that
definitely
guilt because
prefer
you can't say no.
to exhale.
Let her handle it.
And she,
It's
when
okay.
she did, and I was very appreciative
Yeah.
that they did. I was
Yeah.
very appreciative.
Yeah.
And they allowed me
Yeah.
Sunday to do just that.
And you felt good.
I did.
And it's okay.
And see, I remember last season, every other week.
Mhm. I just do.
And she was-
Why are you sniffling? Why do you have a cold again? You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know why she didn't have, see, the only reason why she didn't have a call is because we didn't go to the Biltmart Christmas.
How many years I've been asking for us to go to the Biltmore?
It's not too late.
We didn't go to Biltmart.
I want to go to
It's
Bill.
not.
I
I do
I just stopped big.
It's not too late.
Okay.
Book it.
That's why we
You know,
can't
you're
see it,
finding
because we don't have
stuff
no
on Facebook.
vacation on the calendar.
But you all are, see, you get ready to jump.
Darling, I'm going for
But
3
okay,
days.
darling, but darling,
3
but
days.
darling, if I scheduled it for those 3 days, darling, it would be a conflict in your schedule,
Okay,
darling.
But I'm letting you know, January 3rd.
Well, no.
No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something like
Yes.
Okay,
But what?
But we don't even know
When
when
it'll
the
be done.
considerations are gonna
I gotta
be.
figure, that's what I have to find out.
I'm gonna be naked and unashamed. I only get so much days off.
Okay,
Nicole wants to boost off.
okay.
I don't wanna travel.
No, yes, you do. You just wanna travel with your
Yeah.
man.
No, I don't, well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I wanted to, but no, seriously, I just want to boost off.
Well, okay, but we're gonna tell you this. Can I be naked and
Yes,
unashamed?
naked and unashamed.
You're going to have to figure out a way to be intentional to promote stability, regular scheduled contact, and consistent efforts from both sides to act as a commitment that preserves that bond during life transactions, such as career changes or moving.
That's my
No, but I need to finish. You have to be intentional about traveling with us. So however you're gonna have to do that, you can call it a sacrifice, you can call it not, you make it happen.
So Lady Whistle now.
January.
Well, the exhibit still be
I
online.
have to find out, I don't know, because when Tony and I jumped up and went, like the next day, it was November. So it was not, you know how the November thing compared to the January thing is.
Mhm.
So I will find out, I'll be more than happy.
But if we don't go to Biltmore, then where are we going? Cause we need to go somewhere.
I honestly, I am not kidding. Nicole wants to relax
Okay,
and be,
let's look ahead. I said,
okay.
I'm tired of that right there.
Why is she
Okay,
tired of that?
so,
I'm
but
going.
wait, but I'm trying to make this work. I'm trying to make this work.
Okay.
So let's look ahead
Okay.
and find a schedule that Nicole is relaxed. And she has the time and she's been away with Big Daddy and she can still go with us. So we need
Yes,
to
you have to
find
do
a
a Big Daddy.
time
Is it? I
that
don't know.
works for everyone. So maybe it can't be like January. We need to be intentional about
Okay,
finding a time that works for everyone. Deal?
deal.
Yeah.
Deal.
Come on, let's-
Well, yeah, I was about to say, you two, your schedules are, I mean, not, you're flexible.
She don't work.
Okay, I wasn't.
Now, I am the last person in the world. Let me tell that. I like to eat somebody up at their dinner table on Christmas night because she made the statement that she didn't work. And I looked down at her little face
Work.
was looking pitiful. I said, wait. She worked harder than anybody at this table. You go to a job and get paid and you come home and you cut it off. She never turns off.
It never turns on.
The phone, we were in the spa or somewhere recently since I've been home.
Okay.
And she had 83 emails.
Mhm.
We were waiting. And girl, it's worse than corporate America. It was like an hour and a half. It was like, I said, you have how many?
I better come back to 83
Crazy.
emails with being on vacation.
She was
Thank
gone
you.
for 3 weeks. I might have had maybe 100. She had 83 in an hour. What's what, hour and a half?
I just choose which ones I'm gonna.
That was the bomb.
Oh my
Foolery. But the Lord's work is 24/7,
Yes, it
365. Somebody
Yes, it
always
is.
falling out, going crazy and dying.
But
So-
even though like
You're
y'all's job is very stressful.
Yes.
So it's Nicole's, because during COVID, Nicole was about to lose her mind because the
The
toiletries.
trucks weren't coming.
The truck went to the
Yeah.
Your job is stressful. I know it's stressful now, and I'm gonna get my ticket. And then, of course, I think Britt's job all of our jobs have stressful, our responsibilities, our jobs.
Mhm.
Nevertheless, as we were talking about exhaling, that what we keep as a priority is our time together.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
so no
Say
matter,
that again.
okay.
Yes.
You said it so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like for instance.
But you're right.
For instance, I was just requested for Christmas Sunday. And I said, yes, of course.
What you mean food requested for
Speak-
Christmas
speak-
Sunday?
Okay, so this is, listen.
You doing
listen.
dinner?
I asked her, I said, hey, are you doing dinner after Christmas? And she was like, yes, I would love to do that. I was like, okay, well, why don't you text everybody? She tells me, no, you do.
You
I
tell
was like, what? So, said,
I'll
this is-
set up
I
and
have
everything
to
you
text
do.
everybody. Which I don't have a problem doing
Right.
it, you know, because I know she wants me to do it, so I'm
Absolutely.
gonna do it. So,
Absolutely.
okay, y'all know now, we are having dinner at Britannica's house after
After
Christmas.
Mhm.
Because this is something she likes, and understanding what each one needs in the season where they are, that's important too. Because one thing Pastor told me, you don't ever want to give somebody something they don't want.
Right.
Mhm.
And so I think it's important that we know what we need, and our relationship goes back to being honest and accountable and making sure that we have the right expectations. Why? Because that's when people get their feelings hurt.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And so,
Mhm.
you know, just coming full circle to our own relationships, whether it be between the four, even your husband, and her husband, meaning God,
Mhm.
they all get along.
Mhm.
They all get along. I think that's important when you have women together, because if you have someone that has on their heart against their spouse, you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
We can call each other. I can call Shelby in the middle of the night. If my husband, pastor, says, who else, Shelby? He like, it's gonna be out.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Because he knows I'm gonna talk.
Mhm.
He knows I am gonna
Yeah,
talk.
talk
If I'm
more.
talking to Randy, it's gonna be 15 minutes.
Mhm.
Okay. Joe gonna be about 30. Okay. If I call Britt, she's sleeping. Just don't.
But I listen.
Yeah.
I'm look. I'm a good look. I'm a good listener. What now?
Oh my God. This is how she listens though. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Not the inflection.
And I said, you're not listening to me. Yes, I am, darling. I'm listening. Yes, I am. No, she isn't telling me a story. She is not. Yes, I'm
But see,
saying
that's her love. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I'm gonna say with Brett, first to the listeners, if anybody need a hairstylist,
Absolutely.
Britannica,
Wow, yes, yes,
Britannica,
Lord. That's
will hook you
lovely.
up. But Britannica would absolutely spoil you.
Yes.
When I get off
Yes.
work, she would take me at 7 p.m.
Trey.
And when I get there, she would bring me a sterling silver tray, a real napkin,
With
not
the
the
linen
tissue
on
stuff.
it. Yeah.
And I'm like, am I supposed to? Yeah, darling, you use that. And she bring me my meal. Like I don't ever have to worry about what I'm eating for dinner that night. My husband already know. He be like, so Brit feeding you? I'm like, yes, Brit's feeding me. She'll bring me a glass of wine, and she wants me to relax.
Don't forget the
Yes.
head massage.
And
Oh
the
my
head
gosh,
massage,
yes.
you know, because I'll be in the sink and she'll be talking to me, and then the fingers, and I just stop. I'll be like,
Me
first
too.
lady, I'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm like, Greg can't talk anymore.
Yeah. I even
Because it
say
feels so
it's
good.
time for my therapy session.
Yes.
Yeah.
That means her hands here, everybody quiet.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't hear them anyway,
Yeah.
even if they were talking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have amazing hands.
Oh my
But you
God.
have
Yes,
a
you do.
Yes,
way
you do.
of
Yes, you do.
making us feel, making me feel special individually. And like I'm the most important thing to you at that time. And you want me to come and woosah, as you
Yes.
say.
Right.
Yes.
And I feel free
Yes.
to do that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm
But I think
surprised.
she does that for everybody. Every
You
customer.
are. I think that unfortunately, women today have more on their plates than they have ever
Yeah.
had.
That's right.
You know,
Same.
and we're not as kind to ourselves
That's right.
as we really should be. We're kind to everybody else.
Yes.
Maybe, because the world demands sometimes that you step out of your femininity. And if you are not intentional about trying to hold on to some aspects of it, you'll lose it. So what you do is helpful for, I'm sure,
It's therapy.
tons of your customers to even bring them back to a baseline to realize that they deserve that. They deserve soft treatment. They deserve to be loved on. They deserve to treat themselves kind. This world we are living in is
A lot.
a lot.
It's a lot.
Oh, you can say that again.
Ladies, do you all believe we've been talking an hour?
No.
We have.
Wow.
So you'll have to have another session.
Yeah.
Well, I have no problem. You know, it's getting these moguls to give me some time.
Are we gonna have dinner?
Sure. Oh, God.
As long as you feed her, she's good.
That's right. That's
But
what,
see, a long time ago, I know we have to go, but that's what we would have conversations over, which is a great meal. That's my
the
mom.
fellowship.
My mom made dinner so that she could bring the family together at the
Yes.
table to have
Yes.
conversation. We didn't have therapists then. We didn't have all the drugs we have to keep us
No
safe.
ashwagandha.
No ashwagandha.
Y'all can have that.
But what we did have was, as whether it was small or large, was a safe space to come together over a meal and have conversation.
And that's generational.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it started the same slavery because they had nothing else. And that was
They
the
had.
only day their backs weren't being broken.
Mhm.
And so they had family time.
And that's why I always ask, are we having dinner?
Is that why you're so kind to repeatedly, I was telling Nicole that today, I said she opens her house for the 2 major holidays annually, every year. I said, that is worth its weight in gold. So if you gotta pay a little money or whatever you have to do, that she has it in her heart to bring us together as a family. I said, entertaining is hard, it's work.
Yep.
She cooks a whole lot of dishes and does it repeatedly.
Yeah.
We suck up her heat.
Yep.
Her water.
I don't, and I hear that, but that comes from
It's
the
your
mom.
heart.
Right.
That's
That
my mom.
part. Like,
What we put in our kids,
Mhm.
and y'all have some kids,
Mhm.
what we put in them, that's the legacy we really gonna leave.
That's what's.
You know, a lot of people look at it like money, but what if we get stripped of that, then what do you have?
Nothing.
You have
Nothing.
nothing. You
It's
have
like your
each other.
health.
Yeah.
It's like your health.
Exactly.
That's why relationships and health and things are so expensive. There are things, and the word said something to the about money being the answering of many things, but and I don't remember the verse or where it is. I would guess in Proverbs because it's a piece of wisdom, and that's what Proverbs is. However, it talks about not answering everything. And in the same verse, it's kind of confusing to me. It says it does answer everything, but I get it now. It can't answer all things. You can have billions of dollars and be lonely and miserable, sick. What can your money buy? It can't buy your way in heaven. It can't buy your salvation. It can't buy people to really even care enough for you to hold your hand while you take your last breath.
So this is one
Can't
wise
take it
woman.
down with you.
A wise woman said this to me. She said, if love was currency for you to get into heaven, could you afford it?
There you go.
Oh, that's a good one.
Real good.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
instead of us chasing money, we really should be chasing after the love of God,
That's right.
because that is the currency that is going to get you into heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, like I was saying a couple of weeks ago, you could either be one of the 5 foolish virgins, or you could be one of the 5 wise virgins. And they kept extra oil. And if you do not have extra oil, you will not be part of the party.
But you know what? And we're gonna finish because of the tie that binds, because of him. And this verse that I was gonna close with is perfect. He gives you an endless reservoir of love.
He does.
Because when he resides in your heart and you're intentional about feeding your spirit as you are your body, you don't have to think about extending love when you see even a stranger that is in need of you meeting them, and you can. You minister and witness to people all day long without really being conscious of it. And sometimes you're the only Bible that they see. My spiritual mom tells me that all the time. You're the only Bible, you're the only church, you're the only everything that they see of God. And you pique their interest because of the love that flows from you, because they sometimes have never seen it. And 1 John 4:7-8 says, dear friend, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. We're gonna end on that note. I thank you all, Safe Space family. I think my battery is low, so hopefully you all can see us still. But I thank you all for joining us tonight for this annual show that I have grown to love so much. I think the one we did last year, I have watched probably 15 times. And I don't know if these ladies know that. I think it is so funny. and it's so humorous, and it is such the epitome of us. We cried, well, at least I cried about you, and it lifts me up sometimes. It's my devotion. I will pull it up and watch it at any random time, and prayerfully, this one will do the same for you all and for me until we meet again at this time next year. Thank you all for giving me your time and being intentional about coming on Safe Space. Thank you for having me in your lovely home to do Safe Space so we could be together. And I thank you all for listening. If you all want to contact us, because there's a plethora of knowledge and wisdom and talent here. You need decorators for trees, for homes, we have that. If you need medical attention, we have that. So you can go to safespacewithshelby.com. That is my web address. The platforms are all under Safe Space with Shelby Arrington. We thank you so very much for your time. Wishing you all a wonderfully blessed, prosperous new year and holiday season. Jesus is the reason for the season.
Yes.
Please remember that in all your giving, all your family time, all your loving. And for those of you that may be alone, please know he is the biggest and the greatest lover of your soul. And if you just keep quiet and talk to him, I promise you, he will not leave you lonely. I have been there, and I know the minute he comes in the room, give him a chance and you won't be disappointed. You all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for listening. This is Shelby from Safe Space. Love you all.